Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another amazing Zoom segment that we affectionately have titled Not Talking Movies with Ron and Mean Gene. My gosh. All right, gentlemen, welcome. How are you?
Happy pre-4th of July as we record this just ahead of the holiday. It's a hot one. Are y'all keeping cool?
I'm now. You?
I just opted out of a thing that we had attached to our air conditioner, Consumers Energy. They invite you to sign up for the, Saver Buddies program. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I signed up last year. Now that you mention it, it seems to be working fine. Are you worried you're going to get shut you down?
Well, it was kind of a weird storm of circumstance where a couple weekends ago it was hot, and I was out of town. I got a phone call from my daughter. She says, the air just shut off. And I'm like, oh, maybe that was it. Maybe they browned us out because of it. So I called Consumers, and they said, well, you're 2 days past 1 year, which means you are allowed to opt out. Do you want to opt out of the Savers program? And I guess they give you like a gift card, and they give you savings on your bill. Oh, yeah, I'll just opt out. So I'm thinking that it's going to work great, And then the weekend comes and goes, and I have no air. So then I'm like, yeah.
Air?
And I'm like, well, and I thought, well, maybe it's Monday, the business day. Sure enough, no way. Well, I have somebody come check it out. It wasn't the Savers' fault. I blew a compressor.
There you go.
Ouch!
So I should have stayed with the Savers, I mean, but all right. And at the end of the day,
You got your air back and all is well. You're just a little lighter in the wallet for that.
Oh yeah, if you ever need an AC guy or heating and cooling, I got a guy. He's my sponsor.
Okay, I was just gonna say,
that's the guy. The sponsor for everything. I'm in the process. Oh my gosh, this podcast is I am such a word that rhymes with or.
Yeah, I got it. You can say it. The stuff you say, that's where you draw the line? Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, I sometimes lose sight. Hey, now, Gene, let me ask you this. On WKTV, what are all the other shows doing? Because there's a stable of shows with WKTV that have podcasting efforts. Isn't that right? And what's going on with those guys?
They're still doing podcasting there. Only they're not doing it in that small confined room. They're doing it in the main studio, the very large one, not the news one, but
right.
The large studio, because, that way they can do social distancing. But yeah, they've been doing them there for probably the better part of 3 weeks now.
Are the Polish women still there? What is it called?
The Polish Pod Cafe.
Okay, I thought it was called the Gwumpke Podcast.
The Gwumpke Girls.
Is that a racial slur, by the way?
Hey, I'm Polish. I can say that, so don't even go there.
Are they back? That's all I want.
I don't know. I haven't seen. I don't work there anymore, so I'm
They didn't give you a heads up that the hairy Polish women are there?
See, now that's where you cross the line.
Yeah, now you're in trouble. Okay, something's gonna happen. Something bad.
You gotta go out to start your car one day.
Your air conditioner is gonna blow up. I think
it's gonna blow up.
All right.
Oh, yeah, that's what's going on. Now, I have a question for you, sir.
Yeah.
Do you have any details from last week's bachelorette party from your backyard?
Oh, right.
Yeah. Okay. Good. The look on his face says it all.
Okay. All right. Now, you have this mixed bag of people, young people, because this is only a 23-year-old getting married, so she's got her table of friends.
Right.
You've got the mother of the bride, who isn't really on good terms with the family members of the father of the bride. Okay. Yeah, there had been some weirdness with the divorce, and so you got this mixed bag of people. Some people are religious, some are like, woo, yeah, drinking. So it's all going on, and there I am in the house. And I told this story on the podcast where I was, kind of like just waiting for these people to arrive after we helped set up the backyard. And Diana's laying clothes out on the bed for me to wear. I'm like, what's going on? Just want to make sure that you look good. This is the cute little number I laid out for you. You got to wear this. This is nice. So I'm like, oh, God. So then, all right, I'm like, hey, everybody. And this is terrible. It was just so awful. And then I'm in the house all by myself. And Diana says, she goes, I don't want any Facebook Live. None of this Facebook Live stuff.
You're not thinking.
I know what you're thinking. You're going to shoot a stupid Facebook Live and you're going to make some rude comments while they're eating.
And you did, I hope.
Like, no. And so I did. So I'm like zooming in on women who are like, they're eating, you know. And I'm like, oh, look at that one. Oh, my God. So this went on. And then about an hour passed and I got bored. So I did another one.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was awesome. And so then I noticed my daughter gets a notification on her phone that your dad is live. And she's like waving at me. She's waving at me. So this all goes down. And I'm like, it ends and people start leaving and Diana picks up her phone and she sees and she's like, her face, steam shooting out of her ears. She comes running in the house. Eric! Delete those right now. So she goes bananas and I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble. So that was it, man. I was sleeping on the couch. It was I had to delete it though. I had to delete it. She went bonkers, man. She made me delete it. She goes, those people don't know your sense of humor. Because I suggested that I should run outside with one of my wife's marital aids, swinging it around.
One of them?
The big purple one.
Oh,
who doesn't get the joke on that one? Come on, everybody.
Let me know when that one goes Facebook Live.
So yeah, right. So you know this all. It did not let down. I if you saw it live, then great. If not, it's gone forever because I think somebody might have saved it though. So maybe in a year we can have like a go back in time because then time plus. Well, I guess that wasn't a tragedy, but it's still funny.
Yeah, exactly. I'm impressed that you know how to delete something on Facebook. I would go, I don't know how, honey.
Oh,
you just
got to live with it.
Yeah, it's just there, right?
Oh, that's hilarious. So you're still in the doghouse, though, right?
No, enough distance has we've had several days. It's gone. It's in the ether now. And I just play that's what I do. I step out of line and then I come back to the pack and behave. I don't put a whole lot of stress on the relationship. I don't have any more girlfriends. I don't drink. I don't, it's all good at this point. So if I color outside of the lines from time to time, she knows that's my way of blowing off steam.
Yeah. Okay.
And we all get to enjoy it. I mean,
right. Yeah. Okay.
A lot of likes on that, I'm sure. But what? So what movie did you see? I am curious with your movie review here. What was it?
We need to talk about a film that came out, and I think it won an Oscar for Best Sound Mixing, one of those.
Could be.
A gentleman who won an Academy Award for another film recently as a supporting actor. Brad Pitt in the film Ad Astra.
Oh, wow. I didn't see it. Come on. Tell me more. I mean, I know it's got
it's a sci-fi.
Yeah. This is Brad Pitt. Tommy Lee Jones plays his father, right? And he's out there in the outer space somewhere, and Brad goes to find him or something
Correct.
Like that.
His dad was like the greatest astronaut ever, and he was put in charge of a program. Dad was, Tommy Lee Jones, to go to like the outer stretches of the universe, or I'm sorry, the solar system near Neptune, and there's a base there. Okay, well, they thought he was dead. Well, we have reason to believe he's not dead. And, oh, my gosh, Dad, we think has gone a little bonkers out there in outer space, and we think he's sending these damaging waves to the Earth, and that's causing these crazy pulses, that's causing power outages and people to die. So we got to go get him.
Right.
Actually, the idea was to blow him up.
Okay.
Well, Pitt does his best to try to persuade Dad with like audio messages. Hey, Dad, it's your son. And then the NASA equivalent of whatever this takes place in the future says, all right, you're done. You showed too much emotion. You can't be involved in this project anymore. Well, Pitt says, no, I'm gonna be involved. I want to go see my dad. So he hijacks the damn rocket that's launching from Mars to Neptune, and all right, yeah. So then, that's it, and we got to find out what happened here. How did this turn out? And let me just say that if you watch the trailer to this film, it shows all these crazy action sequences and a fight on the moon where they're in these like Land Rovers and bouncing along, and the trailer is a hell of a lot more interesting than this movie because this thing sucked.
I thought he was liking it the way you were talking about it.
This was a stinker, man. It's a complete, oh, God, it starts out pretty damn well, okay? You got about maybe a little bit, pretty close to half of this film was like, whoa, all right, we got something cooking here. I think this story's got some potential. And then it gets pensive and weird and emotional. And, hey, for 10 minutes, let's watch Brad Pitt think.
Yeah, I heard that needed some editing help, not more. He might have won an Oscar for sound, but not for editing. They needed somebody to tighten that baby up. And they lost a fortune on that movie, too. 20th Century Fox, that was one of their last big stinkers before Disney bought them out.
Oh, dude, so rough. It should have been. They should have gotten, if they won an Oscar for sound editing, the only thing that was Oscar worthy of sound editing is the sound of the people getting up and leaving the theater. Oh my gosh. This was such a dumpster fire. And there's one part when Brad Pitt is just next to the planet Neptune. And he is on this spacecraft that the dad was on, okay? And this is the spacecraft that has to be destroyed, all right? And Brad Pitt has no way to get to his craft, which is, as far as we know, not in the picture. You don't know where it is. Now, we know from the film that if you traverse through the rings of Neptune, that is a bad idea because there's stuff flying all around at high speed. You know what he does to get through the rings?
No.
I'll tell you. He grabs a fireproof panel from the space station that he's trying to blow up and holds it like Captain America's shield.
No way.
And pushes. He jumps from, and that's enough to propel him towards where his spacecraft is. And then, the things flying at him are hitting the shield, all the rocks and debris. But he's okay, guys. And then he happens to have been pushed exactly to the direction of the where he needs to go. And it's just, so stupid.
It just sounds so believable. What's your problem?
This film. Oh, my God. It was just so bad. I got done with it. I was like, I got to flush this from my brain. It's just terrible, Brad Pitt. This is disgusting.
Well, that would be one it would be worthy of Mystery Science Theater 2000.
Oh my gosh. It's right there with Manos Hands of Fate. What a bomb.
What a classic.
It was terrible.
All right, I got a 100%er for you, okay?
Yeah, okay.
On Rotten Tomatoes tomorrow on Disney Plus. It's the Hamilton stage play, the original cast that they filmed and they were going to release into theaters, and it is going to be on Disney Plus starting July 3, and it is sitting at 100% on RottenTomatoes.com right now. So if you're trying to beat the heat and you want a good old taste of a award-winning musical and the critics are raving about Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda's there, David Diggs is in it, original cast members all over the place. So there's a good one.
Is this one that was, they just brought the cameras in and filmed a regular performance, or was it a performance that they designed for TV, for recording?
They recorded one of the Broadway performances, and one of the critics said, better than Front Row. Hey, so they had cameras working different angles, and I don't know if you're getting behind the scenes stuff too, but I think pretty much it's the stage play from start to finish on film.
Well, I know They did
sorry, go
Jesus
ahead.
Christ Superstar just recently. That went to film. The one in New York with what was his name? The guy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Who played?
Who played the lead? Anyway, it was phenomenal. It was unbelievable. Alice Cooper was actually in that. They had a bunch
Oh,
of
I did
cameo
see that.
appearances from that.
Alice
Oh.
Cooper.
Yeah,
He
I
had
think
he was a
Herod.
character.
He was Herod, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
So, but anyway, it was unbelievable, and I was wondering if they were going to be able to capture, because they did a great job of producing it and got the camera angles and the singing, the sound, everything was fabulous. So I'm wondering, hopefully, they did the same thing with Hamilton.
Yes, it's. I would say so, based on the critics' reviews, that it's going to be worthy of your time this holiday season.
I need to. I would be willing to give that a try. I have in my life seen very few musicals, whether they're what we just described or actually in person. And I think I need to give this a real honest try and then determine whether or not this is for me. Because some people who just aren't into it would, I mean, regardless of what everybody is raving about it, they're just gonna be like, oh God, it sucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people just aren't into it, and I'd be willing to try.
Yep.
But yeah.
By the way, Gene, it was John Legend that played the lead in that.
He played Jesus, by the way.
Right.
So it's Black Jesus.
Yeah,
Black Jesus. That's right.
It was phenomenal. He did such a great job. He had a great.
He was.
I mean, it was cast to perfection. I mean, the voices were great. The dancing was incredible. So if Hamilton's anything like this, and I know it's pretty much the same, a lot of dancing, a lot of singing, a lot of movement, good stuff. So if they did the same thing, then it'll be worth the time.
Everybody I've talked to that's seen the stage play, and I was not included, raved about it. And one more bit of entertainment news was we need to pay tribute to Carl Reiner. Rest in peace. Passed away this week at the age of 98. In case you didn't know, born in 1922. Anybody got a Carl Reiner remembrance? The thing you remember most about him? TV, movies, writer, director, any of those?
So much. There was so much. How could you peg one thing?
Yeah. Well, the Dick Van Dyke Show obviously was the big thing, and he won multiple Emmys for that as well. But he also won a Grammy. He directed movies like, who can forget Steve Martin and The Jerk? Come on.
He directed that?
He directed The Jerk.
That's fun. That is fun.
George Burns, and oh God, I always thought that was a hilarious movie. He directed that and co-wrote that as well. So,
well, he actually had a cameo in The Jerk too. He
I
was the guy who brought the lawsuit.
Oh, with the optograph, the optograph.
He's the guy who brought the. So, and a lot of these directors do that. They'll do cameos. They'll write little cameos in them.
You know, I wonder about how much fun it was to make a movie like The Jerk.
Right.
You know, just the ridiculousness of a movie like that, where basically. They just set Steve Martin down. They said, "All right, man, do a lot of blow, and then just try to we'll just wing it, whatever." It's funny because that Jackie Mason, was it Jackie Mason? Is that the guy's name? Who played the part of Mr. Hartunian?
Yes.
Oh,
no, Jackie.
Is that the guy's name?
Yes.
Is that I could have swore it was him.
Gas station guy. Yeah.
He that name Hartunian is really close to my real last name. My real last name is Zeittunian. And I'll never forget, I was watching with holy
beep.
Sorry, Gene.
What was the time on? So for those of you who just didn't hear anything a moment ago, there's a reason.
Yeah, we had to drop the sound out because somebody's got a potty mouth. Oh, he forgot where he was.
That's okay, man.
I'm so used to swearing all the time. All right. But
fun.
Anyway, no, in my memories of Carl Reiner, first of all, when I saw he was dead, I went, wait a minute, why should I know him? And I went, okay, wait a minute, Rob Reiner, that's his dad, right?
That's his dad, yes.
He was meathead on All the Family, so his dad is Carl Reiner. I remember Carl Reiner because one of my favorite films of all time, Ocean's 11. He had a great part.
He was in all three of them, wasn't he?
I don't remember.
I
All I
know
remember
he
him from 11.
He was
I know he
11.
did
He was in
12.
12 because he backed out of 12 and then came back in later because he was bored. And was he in 13?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
was.
I'd
He
have
was
to look that
Saul.
one
He
up.
was Saul in 13. He was in all of them.
Okay, there
Yeah.
you go.
So
Yeah.
he was awesome. He was awesome.
Yeah, he
I loved
was.
him in that. So very, very funny, talented guy. Rest in peace. 98 years old. Oh my
98.
gosh.
Born in 1922. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Almost lived through the Spanish flu and the coronavirus, but not
Wow.
quite.
Did they say what he passed away from? Or
No, I didn't hear that. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it was natural
oh,
causes.
yeah, he
although-
died of a bad case of 98.
Yeah.
Case of 98.
Yeah. My dad is 86 years old, and he's at a stage. And he's like, I don't know how long. I mean, I'll be gone. You know, he strikes me as the type of guy that he'll be around for about another 28 years. One of these guys.
Just the day. I
Yeah,
tell you what.
you know, he'll be on the news. It'll say like "Happy Birthday" over his head, and he's gonna be sitting there in the chair like,
Little balloon bouncing off his head.
you know,
You won't even know.
he doesn't know anybody. He's like, ah.
Oh,
That'll be me too.
I was
you'll
going to
have
say.
You'll have it live on Facebook, won't you?
There,
Oh, everything, document everything.
that would be a blast. Documentary.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
So in the past week, we've been following the story, and you know, I really haven't touched on it that hard about the pandemic numbers in the South and the Southwest of the United States.
Yeah.
How are you here in Michigan, 0 to 10? Where are you right now on the concern level?
0 being none.
Yeah,
0
really?
for me up here. Yeah, I don't even. I hate to say it, but it really doesn't affect us up here. I mean, I've been saying this all along.
So you're not thinking about it as much
No,
because
not
only are you in Michigan where it has declined quite a bit, but you're in a spot of Michigan that's
it's
you're just not really
non-existent. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I went, like I said, I drove down to Indiana this morning and I made stops in Grand Rapids and then a couple other places. And Grand Rapids, a lot of masks. South, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Coldwater, nothing. No, they look like normal.
Right.
Just a couple of masks
Right.
here and there, but Grand Rapids, there was still a lot. So I know
Right.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, and you know, I share some of Gene's lack of concern being in Montcalm County and having very few cases, but having family come in for the holidays. One couple from Chicago who's in the medical field,
right.
my daughter, and my daughter and her fiance here from Florida, where of course in Florida
That's huge.
they've shut things down, closed beaches now for the 4th of July. Arizona and California are shutting down bars and restaurants and movie theaters, and New York City is still on lockdown. And our governor here in Michigan has warned us that we're not quite to phase, I don't know, 5. We're going to stick with 4 now for a while. So, you know, when they show the map of the U.S., I'm proud that Michigan isn't one of those highlighted states. And I think our governor has done the good work, and our citizens have mostly obeyed and been smart. And I'm very proud of that. But, you know, and so I feel insulated here. But, you know, my family's coming to visit. That makes you think twice.
When I ask this, though, I'm thinking about when I see these big swaths of cases increasing, for the whole country, I start to like, oh my God. So are you telling me that all that has to happen is people have to let their guard down for a little bit, and boom, we're in a worse spot? I think that actually sticks with me a little bit. That whole deal, because it's very precarious spot that we're in, you know?
Yes.
Well, I don't think it was letting their guard down a little bit. This was just, they went crazy. They opened everything up and people just en masse just went out like nothing was going on. It was like, you know, just there were people everywhere, and that caused it. Here in this state, stuff's been opening up slowly, and I think people have understood, okay, we'll still take it easy. We're not going to do these big, huge gatherings of hundreds of people at a whim and on the beaches. And, you know, I mean, Florida and Texas, that's basically what happened. The beaches opened and they were just swamped with thousands of people.
Right.
And same with the bars and all that stuff. By the way, I heard this is Thursday. Yesterday, the 1st of July, apparently Governor Whitmer closed all the bars in the state again. I don't know if you, was that what it, not the restaurants, just the bars.
Yes. If you have 70% of your business is, so basically the bars. Okay. The problem with that is the bar that caused the trouble in East Lansing is known as Harper's. And that is a large room full of young people, shoulder to shoulder. The problem with the closure is Stevie's Watering Hole in Rockford, Michigan, that has, 4 people there and a dartboard.
Right.
Everybody obeyed the rules there. Why are they shut down? And I agree with that. That shouldn't be, because they all did the right thing. And now you got a guy who just wants to sell a few drinks to the locals. He has to shut down because all of these bozos decided that they wanted to get shoulder to shoulder and grind. And that's
the problem.
That's
well, so I don't know. I wondered if the zones were still in effect then too, because remember when Traverse City opened up, had a Memorial Day, was it all zones that they closed bars? Okay.
No, Grand Rapids, basically northern Michigan is still okay. Right. Is they don't have any restrictions because it's been such a it hasn't been a pandemic up there as it has been in other places. So basically I think this is going to serve, and I talked about this on the podcast, as a lesson to learn for people who do own establishments like Harper's, that you better start to police these patrons. And you better,
How ridiculous to allow that to happen. It's just like, I think about what happened in senior citizen homes and think, did you guys really think this through on how you were going to keep your citizens, your residents safe? And maybe if you didn't do everything you could have done, how many, what's the penalty for you? I don't know if those guys are getting in trouble or lawsuits or whatever, but bottom line is, you're right. You got to manage your business. And if you don't, this is what happens.
Right on.
So true.
Well, the 4th of July, my gosh. Woo-hoo. All right. I think, hope everybody is safe. I know that I talked to you last week about Scott Sonny, the guy who burnt his nipples off.
Yeah, we learned our lesson. We're gonna wear bulletproof vests while we do this.
You don't want to be holding on to these things. You don't want to show up to the next party like this.
Nope. Be safe out there. But
are you going to be yelling at the neighbors, Ron? You kids!
Yeah, are you a fist waver? You get mad at the neighbors, Ron, or do you care?
Well, you know what? I'm pretty isolated up here, so I'm gonna. Most of my neighbors are old people like me, so I don't get in too much trouble yelling at my neighbors. But their kids, on the other hand, get off my lawn.
Oh yeah. Hey Ron, you still hearing from any of the folks over at the movie theater? They've been reaching out to you, asking you how you're doing.
You know what? A little tiny bit. I think one of the other things that happened this week is pretty much theaters shutting down or not opening up, and movies moving back again. Now the big chains like AMC and other Cinemark are waiting until July 24 or July 31 to open up, and Mulan and Tenet now move back to later in August. So that whole industry is slow to get back in business. And so most of them are still furloughed and not even working. So it's really sad.
Man, it's been the months are piling up. I wonder what we'll be doing 1 year from now. If we'll be like, yeah, boy, that was rough. And then, you know what I mean? I mean,
glad everything's back to normal and we got that vaccine working as the second head pops out.
We are officially in the back half of 2020 now. As of yesterday. Yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah, as of
July
yesterday. 1. We have now begun the back half of 2020. So let's hope that the back half is a little bit better than the front.
Yes.
The front half sucked.
Amen. Love your brother. Don't hurt people and
Love
be
from a
nice.
Distance. Love them
from a distance.
All right, my friends. I love you with all my heart and soul.
And spirit and strength. Have a great one.
All right.
Okay, boys.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, you can stop waving now.
All right.
No, but we're done.